Hello, my name is Jyotsna. I'm a theatre professional and a drama teacher. I also volunteer for the Humanism Project. In fact, I'm on my way back from class right now and I can't wait to see you all in the Humanist Lounge. See you soon. Bye.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sanghamitra Kumar. I'm an actor, a creative professional, and a volunteer with the Humanism Project. And I cannot wait to see you at the Humanist Lounge. See you all very soon.
Hi, I'm Deepak Joshi from Melbourne, a business professional and a volunteer with the Humanism Project. I hope you're taking good care of yourselves during this COVID crisis, and I will see you soon at the Humanist Lounge.
Hi, I'm Saleha Singh, a communications professional, a volunteer with the Humanism Project, and Lizzie's mum. I'm taking her for a walk, and I'll see you shortly at the Humanist Lounge. Bye for now.
Oh, hello, handsome. And then see you there. My name is Virat Nehru, full time poet and part time buffoon. And I can't wait to see you all at the Humanist Lounge. See you there.
Hi friends, Shreya here. I'm a consultant by profession and I'm also a volunteer with the Humanism Project. These are my two kids, Atlas and Nix, and we're just taking them for a walk. When we're back, I'll see you at the Humanist Lounge for some fun conversations. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Zoran Saher. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a motivational speaker and a presenter. Here's my cup of coffee to get the day kick-started. But more importantly, I can't wait to see you all at the Humanist Lounge.
Hello. Welcome to the first episode of the Humanist Lounge, brought to you by the Humanism Project. I think you've already met everyone, and the topic for today is what the hell social media? And so I declare the discussion open. Let's go, guys.
Well, like you said, like what the hell social media? 20 years ago, I don't think we were this connected. The Humanism Project happened because of the internet. Thanks to the internet, we haven't, I think only a few of us have personally met each other, but Deepak, for example, is in Melbourne, but we know him, where he's here with us thanks to the internet, which is fantastic. But I think it's really a double-edged sword as well, don't you think? मतलब Virat and I always joke about it कि जिंदगी झंड कर दी है हमारी internet. So basically that to me is what social media is about. But it really has connected us globally. And when we talk about globalization, this social media has played a massive part in it. But how many people, Zoran, are on the internet? I think you have the statistics being an influencer.
So, firstly, thanks, Sangmitra, for that absolutely amazing connectivity kind of dialogue about social media, because it's amazing that 3.5 billion people on social media exist as of 2019, which equates to about 45% of the current population of the world, which is shocking and enlightening at the same time because of the amount of content that's being put out there, but at the same time also about how many stories have been kind of merged and submerged about the reality of things, because social media is fantastic in making khichdi out of nothing at all, but at the same time empowering people. And my good friend Virat will tell you a bit more about content-driven stuff, which actually sometimes can get misinterpreted, yet empowering. What do you think, Virat?
Yeah, thanks, Meetu, for saying that Zindagi Jhandwa ho gayi. But social media has definitely done that. Because I remember, initially there was this whole positivity around social media, it'll empower, change the world. When the Arab Spring happened, it was the stories from social media that broke. And basically that changed. The Arab Revolution happened because of that in 2011. So, we had 10 saal pehle, there was such optimism कि, social media से कुछ कर सकते हैं. It's going to democratize the slate, everyone's going to have an opinion, everyone's going to have a say. And that's exactly the problem. Everyone has a say, which means that no one has a say, because अगर आपका opinion सबका सेम है, तो किसी का ओपिनियन मैटर नहीं करता, क्योंकि everyone is basically shouting and it is just echoes in a vessel, तो आपको कुछ सुनाई नहीं पड़ता है, because all you're hearing is voices, and then you can't filter out the noise from the actual sensible voices. What do you think?
But that's not how it always was, na? Like 20 years ago when social media started, I remember like being in school and we used to have like, what was it? Orkut and
God.
Orkut.
and then dial-up internet was so irritating because it would make those weird noises that I can't name. But it
MySpace.
Yes.
Also, kya ho raha hai ki there was MySpace, now everyone's taking their own space, you know? So I think internet has given everyone so much of space that you just are going in the zone of kind of secludingness, and sometimes you don't realize the info on internet can be, you know, just so misleading. Hate speech, it's nuts.
See what until about, you know, as you said, 20 years ago, there was just mainstream media, and which was run by elites, and there was a broad agreement on what truth is. You know, we all generally agreed. With social media, the barriers to entry have, you know, completely been blown away. So anyone can be there, and there's so many sources producing content, and it's very difficult to discern between what is truth and what is just rubbish and bullshit. And I think that is something which has changed. There's so much content coming. It's very hard for people. There's anything that's passes on as facts. And that is what has changed, I think, because of social media.
Yeah, but that's been a good thing because I know that up until like I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy and stuff, and I know with AIB or with Kunal Kamra, whoever it is, like Rajat Chauhan, there's so many now. What talent we have for comedy in that country, and that's thanks, you know, it's come out thanks to social media because up until one point it used to be exactly up until one point just that we knew Johnny Lever was like 90s, you know, growing up in 90s, Johnny Lever was the comedy king, and he still is. Like, I'm not taking that away from him, of course. But uske baad wo laughter challenge aaya tha. I starred in a film with 51 stand-up comedians, you know, but the real stand-up comedy happened after the film released. So, thanks, guys.
I also think what social media has done is given the power and anonymity, you know, in a certain sense. Also, while there is an art and the artist, a platform is so important. So I think like Neetu said, it is so important, like a Kunal Kamra, like an AIB, like, you know, TVF. They've got the content, they make it over there, they have a bit of an audience, and people want to watch them. They want to sit in their homes. Currently, right now with the lockdown also happening, that's a huge positive of social media.
But I mean, content itself, the concept of content came with social media because up until one point, it was just cinematic experiences for us. You know, we'd go into a cinema hall, whether it be multiplex or a single screen. That was it. We didn't know of content apart from cinema or television, you know, and then that social media brought that to us. We have 5-minute sketches, we have half-an-hour episodes, and then we have like Netflix just walking into our lives and taking the, you know, spotlight away from all the films and all the cinematic experiences.
The world of OTT.
Yeah.
But listen,
Yes, like the latest show that we are all watching. What is it? The Indian matchmaking show?
Yeah.
Indian matrimony. Oh. Yes.
It's an eye-opener.
It's more like the it's more like the match-breaking show.
Yeah.
That's just bad content. I'm sorry, but that's just like bad
No,
content.
but
Is
I
it bad
think
content? Is
it's
it
good
bad content?
It is good
It got
content.
everyone watching.
But
I've watched unless I spoke with
Exactly.
you guys.
Because of all the publicity it's gotten, including the negative one. But I personally feel any show in today's time and age that gives so much importance to fair complexion, there's something wrong there. There's just something.
I think it's the other way around.
That these platforms have allowed these vulnerabilities to come out. I mean, up until one point, हम लोग को लगता था कि हिंदुस्तान से अच्छी कोई जगह हो ही नहीं सकती. Indian से अच्छी
मुझे नहीं
कोई
लगता
नहीं
था.
सकती.
I love
And
it.
now we are like,
मुझे नहीं लगता था.
how bad we are. Like,
But यही तो perception है ना, that I mean, OTT platforms like a match-breaking thing is kind of bringing that out in a certain sense. You know, even bad publicity is fantastic publicity because it's got the numbers. Netflix has done its job. The lady's become the next Amitabh Bachchan in the country.
Yes.
On digital platforms. And
Seema Taparia.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Seema auntie.
But
Seema Auntie.
yeah.
I'll tell you.
I have
Yesterday,
I
I read something on someone's status about this Indian matchmaking thing, and they written something to the effect of, I don't understand what's the negativity that the show is getting. At least they're not talking about dowry. And I was like, dude, they're not talking about dowry because they'll get arrested. I mean, they'll be banned. It's illegal. That's why there's no dowry.
नहीं the point
बड़ी मारा है ना, murder तो नहीं किया.
हाँ, वही तो ना.
the point
Worse
is
तो नहीं किया ना, मतलब parameters में है, पागलपन के parameters में है.
But ये सब हमारी society में
Uh,
होता है ना, मतलब it's
you know,
not like it doesn't happen. And if the shows are showing that, I mean, that is the filth that is part of our society. We can't just
No,
avoid
no,
it.
no, no, no. But Virat, if you're
Yeah,
saying that, sure, it's showing
yeah.
what's happening. But but like for example, there's a Sacred Games or there's a Mirzapur or whatever, which also shows what's happening. But
Yeah.
this is glorifying it. This
True.
is showing in a way that it's okay.
Yeah.
But it is for a
And
lot
it
of
is
people in our
okay.
society. It
It
is
is
okay.
okay in a
It's not
certain
people's
part of the
lives, Jyotsna,
society where the girl has to conform.
Yeah.
It's never the man. The man can be a vanilla, what a beige guy, like that, 23, 24-year-old guy. He's so fucking weird. He wants a wife like his mom. Holy, no.
I don't even want my mom to be like his mom.
Shreya, I
Dude,
want to hear you say something. Please say what you.
Oedipus complex.
Auntie
But
is complete.
bring this,
I love how you're bringing Shreya into a matchmaking discussion. Hey, Shreya, come on, go for
No,
it.
Shreya should have a say.
personally, I have a very interesting story of matchmaking where my parents tried putting me on websites and looking for a guy, but I had somebody else in New Zealand. And all it took was a meeting to say, look at the quality of the guy, and if you can get me someone, I'll marry. And they couldn't find for a year and a half. But that besides, I was going to come back to actually Deepak's point earlier where he was talking about the source of truth, how earlier there was one source of truth. I think there's a big dichotomy in social media today. It is brilliant on entertainment, content, and I think even connectivity, reuniting with school groups and so on. But on the other hand, if you look at influence and information, because as Deepak was saying, barriers are so low, that area is so screwed up and it is so bad and it's so hard to figure out what is right, what's wrong, what's genuine, what's fake. It's actually very murky and it's really hard to find the kind of right stuff. So the source of truth, yeah, I think that's such a big miss of, and it's a social media created monster in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a monster.
it's not just the media that was run by liberal elites. I think even the political discourse. I mean, India was, since independence, the constitution and everything else was set up by very liberal elites and educated, thinking people, which probably was not a reflection of the Indian society. And I think with the advent of the social media, that has been democratized completely. So. And the other thing it has done, it has connected people. If there was a certain kind of thought that was suppressed, bigotry or racism or anything that was suppressed, and social media has allowed people to express it. And suddenly there's a realization that there are so many others, like you, like-minded, and that has basically led to this cascade of opinion, where people realize that people who share their worldview, they were afraid to express earlier. So I think that's the space in the middle is completely gone. So there's the
and that's my biggest problem with Indian matchmaking show as well. It's not that it might not be a reflection of part of our society, but the very fact that we've given it this platform,
Yes,
for communication, glorification, any kind of thing, right? It just giving it that platform and power of influence at this time and stage when we really should be moving away from it, that is a big problem, I think.
But then also saying that it was social media that kind of came out, there were memes on Facebook immediately overnight that were contradicting what it was trying to show. So the power to cut out social media or glorification on social media also is social media. Like, dawa bhi wahi hai, marz bhi wahi hai, right? So,
guys,
Wow.
कुछ समय के लिए इसे positive रखते हैं. We'll get to the negatives. We will do the negatives for sure.
वही तो.
And I know you
But
have a lot to say, but कुछ समय के लिए let's try to
No,
keep
the
it all
positive, because I want to take us back to, I know we mentioned the dial-up era and stuff, because I remember my first, wo block computer, Windows 98, and there was a dial-up modem that we had. So, us time pe, you couldn't use the phone and use the internet at the same time.
Yeah,
And then if
right,
anybody was
yes.
using the landline, so internet chalta nahi tha, it was that thakela. So it was that level of thing. So you had to wait, and it was basically like, if your images or your web pages weren't loading, you knew that somebody was using the phone. And I'd be like, Mama, Papa, kya kar rahe ho yaar? And then I would take this excuse, school ka project kar raha hai mujhe. What are you doing? You're interfering in my education. So I love how, when any new technology comes around, it's always education that is the first thing, it's going to inform you, educate you, And even the beginning ads of Facebook and Twitter, if you see, when it was launched as an information and education platforms.
True.
Facebook's first ads that you see, it is going to be an education sharing portal.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And now if you look at the evolution, education is the last thing that you find with any of these social media platforms.
But just take something away from Virat's point. I just want to add something to Virat's point and Shreya earlier as well. She did speak about how influencers sometimes, completely change the discourse of what you want to, glorify as wrong or right media. Speaking about the positives, me being an influencer myself, many a times, people question the authenticity of an influencer. Either it's paid or bought followers, whether it's what kind of content you're putting out, whether it's the kind of influence you're kind of putting out there. I truly think, and I kind of, to my credit, sometimes I feel my following has not been that quick because I'm not constantly chasing the numbers game. I'm chasing the content-driven game. So
love you, Zaran.
There are a lot of love back at you, bro. But. But there are a lot of people with 80,000 followers, 90,000 followers who want that, couple of minutes of fame just by putting Auntie Seema, whatever her name is, as a picture and say, matlab, at least 200 likes to mil gaye. But it's like, do you believe in this? At the same time, you talk about hate speech being on Facebook, on Twitter so many times, but do you actually believe in it? You're not believing in it. You're putting it because it's the word of the hour. It's just there, So
but,
basically, it's trending.
Yeah. The other thing is people believe what they want to believe in it. We form a view of the world in our heads, and we basically feed that view. And if facts conflict with it, we ignore those facts and we try to just assimilate facts that conform to our worldview. And I think that the word is confirmation bias. That's what people tend to listen to or watch.
And speaking of bias, unfortunately, media outlets have been now so biased these days, especially in a place like India. You'll only talk towards one direction. We all know what we're discussing currently, because a channel like Republic will never say anything against another side of the coin. If one party murders somebody, he'll make murder look so beautiful.
But suddenness of that statement, Zoran, the suddenness. Oh my God.
guys, back to positive.
I'm just a little, because you guys are talking about Indian matrimony and stuff, or whatever that show is called. I don't even know.
Indian matchmaking.
Indian matchmaking, sorry. But I mean, what about Tinder and stuff? Come on, guys.
Bumble, Tinder is old, I believe.
Bumble.
One of my colleagues told me about Bumble.
Am I going to be beaten for this? I did an ad for Tinder long years back in my.
All right.
And actually, and I have to say this: I was on the poster, which they completely joked about because I was an Ahmedabadi boy, 30 years old, IT engineering as my profession, and I'm like, "Ye to main hui nahi." Because IT profession.
But talking about the positive, as Sangamitra earlier said, that you connect with people. I'm now connected with. Sometimes I joke that I'm connected with more of my school friends than I actually had school friends.
On Tinder,
I've connected with people on Facebook.
Connection क्या हो सकता है?
People are you on Tinder? I don't think.
Bumble is the place to go.
I'm talking about Facebook. Positives of social media. So, the other thing that has happened, and I was talking to some of you about that, is that I'm connecting with people because of shared values these days. So, that the whole friendship paradigm has turned backwards. Earlier in life, we met people because of our circumstances. We went to the same school, same college, same neighborhood, maybe the same caste or, same social group. But now you connect with people because you share things, you share values, you share beliefs. And then you get to know them better. And when you actually meet, which is what happened recently when I was in India 6 months ago, that I met some of my Facebook friends for the first time, and it was as if I had known them for a long time. And so that is something I have never experienced before in my life. The whole in
you
real
still
life.
describe Tinder.
No,
this is exactly what Tinder is about.
Yeah. And
in the last 3 to 4 months.
I know where you've been, Deepak. You can see that.
In the last 3 to 4 months, I mean, with everyone being at home, especially in places like America and India, and people really can't walk out. I mean, I've been doing more Insta lives than ever before. People are on every single day, just, sharing positivity and light, where you just discuss careers. And it's funny how many people I've actually met with similar tastes and old time connections. And I'm like, I knew you earlier. I never thought you were on Facebook and Insta. So that itself has, changed the kind of tide of, how social media can be a positive way of looking at things, especially sitting in your homes. You just want to look at that 40-minute Insta live of being inspired, what he's doing in his life. You could be, celebrities for that matter have been, Bartan Dona. They've been sitting at home watching the sunset.
Oh no, please! Everybody washes plates. That
I know, that was ridiculous.
But no one does it.
NRIs, yes. For NRIs, yes.
Bartan bajana is a different thing, but bartan
No, even
Bartan Bajana, he's
bartan
right.
bajana is a different thing.
Nee, but Saleh, everyone washes plates, but still, if you see Katrina Kaif washing a plate,
Yeah,
you want to watch
I
it.
think that was the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband will get very excited. I'm sorry.
I commented, say, bhai, mere ghar pe aake kar lena, please, yeah.
Oh, good.
Guys, I mean, I think we're also kind of narrowing social media down to Facebook and Instagram. What we're not realizing, we have something like LinkedIn as well today.
Yeah,
You know, a
yeah.
professional network where, I mean, how easy, I won't say easy, but how that barrier of networking, at least in terms of your professional environment and stuff, how good has LinkedIn been and how empowering has LinkedIn been in that? Now, I'm not saying everybody has got jobs through LinkedIn.
No, I agree. Actually, I'll raise up my hand and say I've never had to apply for a job. I've only got my job through LinkedIn.
No, it's
Really?
you.
Ever
Wow.
been headhunted?
Got a single job through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, never have I.
Something.
Met some interesting people through LinkedIn.
But even in these times when you can't network, even for business, LinkedIn is proving to be an excellent source of connecting with people, and networking with people.
But correct me if I'm wrong, and I may well be. LinkedIn is not as popular here as it is in, say, India.
I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
It is
No, it is. It's
Very, very
It's a
popular.
worldwide thing, though.
Very popular.
But I have to
It
say,
is.
through
I had
LinkedIn,
a brief stint at a recruitment company last year, and we were dealing with like very high profile jobs and stuff. And that was one thing, LinkedIn was one place where we would go as well and look for people. Rather than having them to, apply for our company or whatever, we were the ones who were approaching people through LinkedIn, and you find some really good talent out there. I'm just amazed how
Yeah.
good it is.
I better brush up on my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
I have been contacted for the ABC and the other acting jobs and voiceover jobs that I've done. I've been contacted through LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a profile now. I don't know why, but
but I'll be very honest about
Maybe
LinkedIn.
you're linked
LinkedIn
out
profile
rather than
like 10
LinkedIn right
years
now.
or something. I don't know what's going on.
The other
But I'll say
important
something about LinkedIn. The most amazing thing about LinkedIn is it's done a fantastic job of just filtering out all the crap that the other platforms have.
Yeah.
So it's purely professional, purely for work, purely for.
Yeah.
That's
No, I have some horror stories from women who
No.
still receive creepy messages on LinkedIn, which is not the.
I've had
You know.
men as well. Indian
mean,
men
like-
can send you a message anywhere.
No, not
Except
Indian
for
men.
LinkedIn.
I
Virat
mean,
with exception to the every rule.
I know a friend of mine, and she posted a very professional looking photo, dressed in black in just a professional outfit. And then basically, she received a message from a senior, unnamed person. But, be like, saw your profile picture on LinkedIn. You look cute. Would love to grab a coffee.
Oh,
And I'm just like,
Are you sure coffee is all you want to grab?
As long as it stays to the
That
coffee.
didn't
Yeah.
sound right.
Well,
But this is
we'd like to, we should connect further, right?
Connect with the caffeine.
But this is every social media platform.
Yeah.
Jahan aurat dekhi wahan chalu. Will you make friendships with me? Is like
Yep.
rampant.
So Bob's.
Rampant.
Hi, dear. And what do you mean by hi, dear? You too. Like you.
Oh
and-
yes, God.
Dude, dear, I have a problem with the word dear.
So do
Oh
I.
my God. See,
I don't know
So do
why.
I. Hi, dear.
It's okay, dear. How are you, dear?
I'm like, I'm not a dear. Yeah.
Dear, kya dear? Yeah.
You don't look like a hiran.
Okay.
What about
You're not a black buck, Suran. You're not a deer at all.
I know. But last week you're like, hi, baby, love you too. And I'm like, I never said I love you first to begin with. So you can't really say to
Oh
me.
shit.
Like, I mean, you're supposed to wait for me to say it, then you can say it back to you. But I'm like, मैंने बोला ही नहीं.
Tips for
उसे
people
assume
out
कर
there.
देगा, तू करेगा ही करेगा.
और क्या?
But,
JB, Beba, Jan, what is this behavior?
but going back to Sangamitra had mentioned Orkut.
Yes.
I really want to know who all were on Orkut. Raise your finger. किसने लोगों को फोन करा था टेस्ट प्लीज मेरे लिए टेस्टिमोनियल लिख दो रिमेंबर टेस्टिमोनियल मी
ये
टू
वो मजा Orkut, Hi-Fi, MySpace, सारे के सारे.
yeah, exactly.
So it was all there.
awkward.
अरे यार, even MSN Messenger कितना
Yes.
hit होता था, you
Yes.
know,
Ah,
chat
Yahoo
all the
Yahoo
time
Messenger.
on MSN Messenger.
Even Yahoo,
Hotmail also.
Hotmail, yeah.
Hotmail was also huge.
MSN Messenger, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I have a great story about MSN Messenger. I know my childhood friend that I knew from class 3 or 4, that after class 4 I never met up with her. So we used to religiously catch up on MSN Messenger every week at a certain time. Even after I moved to Australia, with the time difference, she filled out my class 12 ka, what do you call the Facebook? Sorry, no, the
Slambook.
face diary or whatever that is called. Slam book. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for.
We call
Slam
it
book.
photograph
I
book.
haven't heard that
Yeah.
word in ages.
Through-
Slap book.
Through like an MSN Messenger chat, because I used to send her, and then and she had to go through like an actual cafe, a chat room cafe, to religiously catch up with her. And she recently got married in Feb, and I attended her wedding before this whole Corona thing happened in
Yeah.
Lucknow.
Okay,
So I was
I
just
think
like, one good thing came out of that. I was like,
BlackBerry also had a
BBM, the BlackBerry Messenger.
uh-huh.
yes.
You had to have the BBM pin.
Oh God,
What's your
please.
BBM pin? What is your
Yeah.
BBM pin?
I never got the thing BBM pin. I've always been an iPhone user, so I'm like, "Ye pin kya hai?"
Oh, ho, ye iPhone snobbery.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know what BBM is.
Okay, so
Well, you were
another,
missing out on life.
Guys,
I'm very happy. I was missing out on life. Happily missing out.
guys,
before we
since
move-
Virat, one second, Deepak, since Virat mentioned Corona, how good has COVID,
Did I?
how good has social media been during this whole COVID situation? I mean, we're all chatting on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we're all in touch and connecting with our family and friends in which things that we're reaching out in a way that we probably wouldn't have done without COVID. So social media has played a huge role during this whole COVID situation in bringing the world closer. What do you say
And there
about
are
that, guys?
two fundamental movements, I think, of our times, which would not have received the amount of support and kind of, again, influence that social media has. One is, of course, Greta Thunberg and what she's doing on environment, which is absolutely phenomenal. I can't imagine without social media, a little kid protesting outside of school getting any leverage.
That is
The other is the Black Lives Matter,
yes.
which this is one of the first times that it has had such global resounding, I wouldn't call it success, but global resounding sentiment for the same movement. And again, a lot of it has been during COVID time. And it's all because of social media again, because of given if we were in coronavirus, COVID, and we didn't have social media, it would not have been this big at all.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Any movement. I think the other day we were, this brings us to WhatsApp, but we were told about the Med Bikini, where the doctors and medical professionals were, they came down into their bikinis to protest against the sexism that is happening in the industry.
That was awesome.
Or even the Me Too movement, it started in the US, then it kind of gathered that attention, worldwide attention, and that momentum. So any movement, I feel, CA, NRC for that matter, we wouldn't have known anything about it, considering how biased the media is, if it wasn't for social media.
Facebook is great marketing. I mean, social media is great marketing, and Facebook especially, it's free marketing too. I mean,
that works for businesses as well. Small businesses, individual sole traders and stuff. Works
not only that, Facebook actually allows you to identify the exact customer because of their likes, right? And pinpoint your message to your target customer.
I do a lot of on Instagram. I know a lot of the brands I shop from. The only reason I know of them is because of Instagram. I have, and a lot of them are US brands. I have never seen them physically. I've never seen a store, but my house is full of those brands, and it's all Insta. So you're right there, me too.
Sometimes
I love Insta. I love Instagram. I prefer
sometimes you get the impression that whether Facebook is actually listening to you or following it, because you're searching something on the internet on Google. Next moment you find those ads keep popping up on Facebook.
I'm a marketer, Deepak. I can assure you, we are watching you.
I was gonna. I'm into.
I've heard
the two aspects, shareability and the virality of what you basically are putting out there. So basically, there's exponential growth. The more people see what you're putting out. And I know for a fact, because of my growth happening on Instagram, also influencing people and stuff. And I'm like, how did she see my post? But I realized the number of mutual friends we actually have, common likes, common dislikes. You're commenting, it grows. You come into the feature tab and the Explorer tab. That's essentially been the model for Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter. So again, there's also like the visibility factor in terms of what you really like, the geography factor, where you are in the world, what is trending at this point in time. And it's about following the trend, right? I mean, you kind of go against your own morals and ethics sometimes just to be in touch with the trends.
Hashtags.
Hashtags.
Hashtags, yeah.
Hashtag me too, the same thing.
True.
I thought you just called my name just then.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Hashtag METOO.
You know,
My name too.
Okay, guys. Sorry, darling, you were saying.
I was going to say the actual algorithm of YouTube and a lot of these platforms is exactly what Zoran just explained, which is if you are putting something out on a trending topic or it's something that is likely to get views, it is automatically promoted. It gets more views. It gets promoted. It is such a fast ship to not stardom but popularity and access, basically because the social media platforms have actually built it that way, because they are built on mass views. So
and that's why I say that it's a double-edged sword as well. I mean, where it has its positives, like there's so much out there, so much constructive stuff out there.
True.
Yeah, I mean, talking of constructive stuff, another area where social media have done a lot is in the do-it-yourself thing. Almost anything you want to learn to cook something, anything in the time.
That's
you
true.
Want to repair your home, you want to repair something.
And that brings us to the corona discussion that Joe started, because that is exactly what people have been doing, locked up 3 months, 4 months. That's all they have done. They've gone on YouTube, they've tried out every dish, and then they've put their own recipes on YouTube as well. Or on Facebook.
Dude, I have learned finally after, I won't reveal my age, but I'm near 30. The first time in life I have learned how to make khichdi. Because I really miss my mom and I really miss home cooked food. I don't know how to cook Indian food. Finally, you has taught me how to make khichdi. So
I'm with you. For the first time in 30 years, I went to my kitchen and actually cooked in my life. With my mom on webcam. My mom was on webcam and I'm like, Mom, I'm new. I'm an amateur. Teach me.
Did she have that Jaya Bachchan moment from K3G with an Aarti ki thali, and you stepped into the kitchen?
Okay. So let me tell you an interesting story. I met a guy who came as an asylum seeker to Australia. On an impulse, bought a business, a barber shop, and he didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had his first customer. The barber he had hired did not turn up, and he didn't want to send the customer away. So he started doing it himself. So he started and he had been watching the barber earlier, but he started from one end, then he couldn't figure out. So he went to the bathroom, took out a YouTube video, and basically from YouTube, he learned how to do his first customer's haircut.
Yeah.
And then he learned other techniques through YouTube, and he became a very successful barber.
These are the kind of stories when you realize the importance of social media also. It's got a huge lasting impact on so many people's success stories, as a matter of fact.
Guys, with that story, I really want to give a disclaimer out. He had a natural talent as well. Guys, please don't do this. Don't try.
Don't try this.
Everyone has a talent.
And one other thing.
Everyone has a talent in life.
Other thing, don't self-diagnose by, basically putting on Google. I have pain in arm. Yeah. I have pain in arm.
What for sure? According to Google, तो है.
Yeah.
कितने
मतलब
cancers?
Google ने मुझे इतनी सारी बीमारियां बता दी है कि I am surprised मैं अभी तक जिंदा कैसे हूँ.
Yeah.
How am I a
Me
functional
also.
human being?
Oh my God.
Okay, guys. I just want to tell you, we are, by the way, half an hour in, so time really flew. So, अपने brickbats ले आओ. Let's begin with WhatsApp University. Let's talk about WhatsApp.
Yeah, about that.
Oh, that wonderful chat thing. Oh, wow.
Saleha, you go. Yeah, you haven't said
Machine.
anything so long. Saleha, I want to hear something from you.
So I was in Delhi in March, and I have this taxi driver who's been driving me for the last 10 years. And we were chatting, and he told me about the Delhi riots and Shaheen Bagh and how bad Muslims were and how they were creating so many problems, blocking roads. And I asked him how he knew, and he said it's all WhatsApp forwards from his friends, from his families, and WhatsApp forwards from there. And then he told me a story that he was actually driving, he was picking up someone from the airport late at night, and he had to cross, I think, Noida and wherever else he had to cross, which was predominantly a Muslim population. And he said some people stopped him, and they were all his Muslim bhais, quote unquote. And he said he told them that, you know, he had to take this person home, and he had come in from States or wherever else, and they let him through. And I said, so how were his Muslim bhais? And he said, they were fantastic. He said, mujhe madad kiya, main chala aaya, rasta bhi khol diya mere liye. But, you know, WhatsApp has created all this misinformation that firsthand, when he went to that area, he had a really good experience, but his relatives and his friends are saying all the, I think, passing misinformation and what is it that Donald Trump calls it? Or fake news.
Fake news.
Sorry.
Saleha, I've got something to add to that. Yeah. Saleha, I'm glad you brought that up because I've got something to add. When I went to this friend's wedding in Lucknow earlier this year, so I landed in Delhi, and once again, a taxi driver, he's like, you know, kahan se aaye ho type. मैंने कहा, you know, bahar gaon se aaye hain. So he's like, you know, अच्छा ठीक है क्यों आए हो, क्योंकि he was surprised कि इंडिया क्यों आए हो, मतलब बहुत सारी देश थे जाने के लिए, क्या तुम्हें क्या मत मारी गई थी कि तुम्हें इंडिया आना पड़ा? मैंने कहा नहीं दोस्त की शादी है इसलिए आया हूँ. अच्छा दिल्ली में है? मैंने कहा नहीं लखनऊ में है. तो कहते ओह अच्छा बच के जाइएगा. मैंने कहा क्यों क्या हो गया? क्या नहीं वो लखनऊ उन लोगों का गुट है ना तेरा. तो मैंने कहा अच्छा किन लोगों का गुट है? तो कह रहे नहीं आप वो समझ जाइए ना, आप तो भोले भाले से है, शक्ल तो अच्छी है, आप नहीं समझ नहीं पाएंगे, आपको मार डालेंगे वो लोग. मैंने कहा अच्छा मैंने कहा नहीं मैं शादी वादी कराने के आया हूँ, मरने के मूड में तो आया नहीं मैं. अभी शादी हो जाए उसके बाद मरने का नेक्स्ट ट्रिप में मैं देखूंगा, अभी तो शादी वादी कराने के मूड में आया हूँ. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं आप देख के जाइएगा, आप बड़े भोले भाले से हैं ना, शक्ल से ही लगता है कि आपको कोई मार डालेगा.
Obviously doesn't know you.
नहीं शक्ल से लगता है कि आपको मार डालेगा. अरे जो what is this behavior, Pooja?
No, not भोला भाला.
I like how he plugged in his own praises in between this this anecdote of his.
मरने का मूड में तो मैं समझ गया वो वाला.
But it's actually really true that the problem with social media, and I keep saying the double-edged sword thing, is you see for this reason, because it's really pulled people out of their comfort zones. You know, we're no longer living in our own little bubbles, and that's a problem as well for people. Because now to differentiate between reality and the illusion that is being created on these, you know, WhatsApp messages and this propaganda that is being created, इतनी समझ हर किसी में नहीं होती कि हम वो फर्क कर सके कि अच्छा ये हकीकत है. Like, you know, Saleha, you said that he had a great experience, but he was believing something that's a fantasy that has been, you know, pretty much sold to him on WhatsApp. So we can understand this. Sometimes even the best of us, you know, sometimes we end up believing WhatsApp messages or something on Facebook as well. We all have fallen prey to fake news at some point. And that's a really, you know, devastating part about social media.
You know, in a certain sense, with what you read and what you actually understand as news and what you choose to believe, you know, so real versus real, you know, all the time.
So I spoke about, you know, we believe what we want to believe. And many of you would have heard about or read the book Sapiens, which talks about, you know, the ability of why humans became such a dominant species on the planet. And it talks about the ability of humans to create and believe in fiction, which it says is the central to our ability to coordinate in very large numbers and flexibly. So ants can you know, work in very large numbers, but they can't work flexibly. And chimpanzees can work flexibly, but not in very large numbers. But humans do that, and the reason behind it is their ability to collectively create fiction and believe in fiction. And some of the fictions they talks about is the fiction of nation, fiction of currency, and even God. So for me, you know, what I have gleaned from that is that apart from this urge to believe in common fictions, there is also this human urge to connect with people who believe in the same fiction as us. And I think that is what social media has done WhatsApp or Facebook, that it has connected a lot of people who would believe in the same kind of stuff. That Muslims will run over the country if their population goes beyond a certain point, or Hindu khatre mein hai. A lot of these things, Mexicans are going to, ruin the country or whatever. And this is where Modi comes from, and this is where Trump comes from. They basically play on those fear and fears of people. And I think these are the things that basically drive emotions of people, which sometimes leads them to vote.
But in having said that, Deepak, I mean, there is so much fake news out there which can be verified, because the real news is also out there. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Both sides of the coins are there. Sorry, you can Google. So see, a lot of the times what happens is, okay, so I have this really amazing story, or I'm, of my dad's side of the family, we are in fact, all side of the family, we're the only ones who are in Australia, right? Everybody else is in India or other parts of the world. So ek baar raat ko, all of us, we forgot to switch off our phones onto silent, and we went off to sleep, and 3:30 baje, ting 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 karke jo hamare messages baje hain, like in all the rooms basically. It turned out that, our extended family was gracious enough to add us to this family WhatsApp. And everybody in that, they were sending these Hindu khatre mein hai type messages. And to me, it really bothered me, because some of them was, basic, outright white lies, jise bolna chahiye. And I said, all you need to do is, you should know this, but if you don't, you can Google it. There is information out there. You should be, as a human being, you should be curious enough to kind of verify your news before you believe it.
Do some research on your own, How can you just believe anything?
But that's the thing. I mean, what Deepak mentioned with Sapiens, the other thing that the book says is the fact that we have the power to believe our own fictions. Yeah. So the strength to actually believe our own fictions is stronger than the urge towards rationalism, because rationalism challenges your fiction. Because then, basically, if something is contradictory to the story that you like to tell yourself, because there are two stories: the stories which is true and the stories that you tell yourself, and often they're in conflict. So if I find it a comforting story that, look, I am the minority, that despite being in the majority, I do not get the right opportunities to succeed in life. A lot of people who moved to Australia feel like that they had to leave their country. But if they got the right opportunities in their own country, they wouldn't have left. This is the fiction and the stories. This is the fiction they tell themselves. So it is actually the power. It's not about the truth and the verifying of fact, because fact challenges that comfortable story you've told yourself. It's like a bedtime story, na? So once you've told that Santa Claus real nahi hai, imagine the shock, the first time the shock that you had. Yare, mere saath jhoot bola kya? Hi Ram. Like, it was my parents with a dadi all along. Itna mota bhi nahi tha. Like, what the hell? So it is just suddenly discovering that reality. Ki ye mere saath dhoka hua hai. And believing that takes a while. Like, it took me at least 3 years to come to terms with the fact that Santa Claus is not real. So imagine this is not Santa Claus. This is like actually
Santa Claus not being real is not harming anybody. It's not harming.
Right, but it harms my perception of reality.
I realized there's no Santa Claus here. Come on, I was excited.
I don't know, but it harms my perception of reality.
Not Santa Claus. Are you kidding?
No, I'm saying.
Har saal, meri favorite book de jata tha. How did he know? I wanted to be in the good books of Santa.
Yeah, I wanted to know. One fine day I woke up and I said, "This is ye jhoot tha." Matlab.
I was like, Mama, I can see you. I can see you walking quietly. I'm just pretending to fall asleep. Yeah. I can see you right now.
I was happy getting gifts. Let's be honest. Jab tak gifts mil raha, mujhe koi problem nahi hai.
I would like.
No, just taking a leaf out of Deepak and Virat's book in terms of what's real and the kind of. I think a lot of it has to do with also human behavior. Is about how you want to sort of tune yourself to reality as against what really isn't. And I think, a big prevalent issue currently in this world is the radicalism of politics. You take America, you take India, it's purely playing on emotion. And to what extent can you play on emotions is unbelievable.
Indians are very emotional, man.
Oh, for sure.
Indians are an emotional people. They're very emotional.
But I also do believe that somehow, and I know, look, this is completely out of, what I think. There's no study or research backing this up. But I feel that our education system is also such, we are constantly being told to mug up in schools, in private schools. I've been in DPS, and I know that I remember having this argument with a teacher because I gave an answer which was correct, but it was not the book answer. So my marks got cut. And I was like, what rubbish is this? But that's the problem. We are constantly being tuned to not find information, to not interpret things in our way. कि आपको जो बोला गया है वो ठीक है, बस उसको मान लो. And that mentality has now come in, and that's what I feel that WhatsApp and stuff is playing on. But also when you have trolls, I mean,
I'm glad you got that. Yeah. What about the trolls, guys? What about
trolls are lovely people, yaar.
The trolls are another way of accepting life and just embrace them.
Trolls give me so much motivation to be alive. मतलब अगर मुझे याद नहीं दिलाते हो ना कि मेरा सरनेम नेहरू है after like every 5 seconds, तो मुझे पता नहीं चलता. Like I would have forgotten. नेहरू होते हैं? That's what I think.
तुम भी नेहरू.
But I think
मोदी जी को काम नहीं करने दे रहे. Now we get it.
But I think this
I think trolls in a certain way makes you realize that people have so much time in life to talk about you. So at least thank them. It's like snap about me.
But I think that it's also very empowering. I mean, you can yourself be a troll. You have the power to decide how close you get to someone, how close someone else can get to you.
Yeah.
So these are the things where you can speak very freely. You can you can't do it physically if you're confronted with a very strong person.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. But on social media, you have that power. You can say boldly कि हम यहाँ खड़े हैं और line यहीं से शुरू होती है.
अरे वाह.
But I'll tell you something. I think trolls, yes, sure, we can make it into something positive, and yes, that's great. But there is a sense of fear, especially being a woman in today's climate. I'll give you my example. I wrote something against the government, which I do all the time on Twitter, and I don't like the government, and I said something about that. I don't even remember what tweet it was, but I was immediately trolled, and by not just men but by women as well, and someone wrote something to the effect of तुम्हारा हम citizenship cancel. Oh, Shreya's dropped off again. This will keep happening. I think.
इतना डरा दिया trolls ने उसको.
हाँ, वो ये देखा अभी.
Anyway, so someone wrote
government की बात कर रहे हो तो.
So someone wrote something to the effect of, oh, हम तुम्हारा citizenship cancel करा देंगे, और मैं citizen हूँ भी नहीं, by the way. That's the funniest, okay? And while another person said something to the effect of, we'll find you and we'll whatever. I did get scared because I know it, because so far my profile picture on Twitter was like this nice pretty picture, a regular picture. But after that happened, I changed my profile picture with my husband standing in front of me. I was like, hello, I'm not alone. So it does play on your psyche. It does affect you,
I think for me it was the same as well, because I used to argue a lot initially when 2014 came and this trend started. I used to argue a lot with who you now call bhakts, I guess. And I wouldn't want to refer them to that. I was just like, "ठीक है, आपका opinion है," and I was giving them that respect, and I didn't realize that these are trolls and they don't need respect, basically. But the rape threats, the other kinds of threats that came in afterwards, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. Now, I wasn't scared per se, but I know my family was very scared. They were like, even I'm not an Australian citizen, so it was more like, abhi hum India jayenge to problem ho jayega.
Even my family, same. Even my family, my dad also, tumhe andar nahi ghusne denge. That's what he said.
They were like, you don't know these people. And I was like, these people are so frustrated in their lives कि मुझे नहीं लगता कि इनके पास असल में कुछ भी होगा करने के लिए. ये एक मैसेज लेते हैं, उसको चिपकाते रहते हैं. Their first question would be, what have you done for the country? जैसे कि इन्होंने तो बहुत कुछ कर लिया, so they've got this standard script, I would say, this customer service script that we all read out when we do customer service jobs. I think
कहाँ थे जब कश्मीरी पंडितों को वैली से निकाला गया?
The Kashmiri Pandit has spoken. Virat, we want to hear you now.
कहाँ थे तुम जब तुम कश्मीरी पंडित जब सबको निकाला जा रहा था? हम तुम्हारे फेवर में बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और तुम हमें ही गाली दे रहे हो? What kind of behavior is this? You should be supporting us. We are trying to stand by you. And I'm just
वहाँ जाके ये anti-India और anti-Hindu चीजें लिखते
Because I keep posting that I have this recurring joke that I keep sharing on social media that everyone wants Kashmir, but nobody wants Kashmiris.
Yeah.
And
It's not a joke, it's actually the truth.
yeah, but इस एक लाइन से ना इतने लोग ट्रिगर हो जाते हैं ना, बड़े मुझे बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग जवाब आते हैं कि oh, how can you say this, are you not a Kashmiri yourself, we'd love to have you and stuff. मैंने कहा वहाँ की हालत देखी है, like वहाँ पे कोई रहने लायक तुमने जगह छोड़ी है, कश्मीर का तुमने कुछ छोड़ा है बच्चा कि वहाँ पे कोई रह सकता है?
It's the most heavily militarized area in the world, right?
Well, because I went for a shoot once to Ladakh, and they are so friendly, such a beautiful place, but highly, militarized, and it's very, very guarded. But I have to say, Virat, taking your point from in terms of, and also me too, how recently with the whole Kunal Kamra and Arnab Goswami thing, in terms of trolling, he didn't do anything wrong. He gave him a taste of his own medicine, but at the end of the this man, this cult image of Arnab Goswami, which has been created in the eyes of people as like, wo kuch galat kar hi nahi sakta hai. Because when he shouts, the world shouts. When he keeps quiet, you dare not shout back at him. And he was trolled. But, I think hats off to someone like Kunal Kamra. He played onto the trolls. He's like,
Kamra. Love him.
And he didn't succumb. He didn't succumb to a level where he said, oh, I'm scared now. He actually went next level. He said, main zyada karunga. And to his credit, I think everything kind of aligned really well as far as stars were concerned, because when airlines banned him, the pandemic.
Another example of how Facebook was used to incite violence against Rohingyas. That's one big example where a UN investigation revealed that Facebook was
Rohingyas?
Yes.
Can you be louder? Can't hear you properly.
I think there was a UN investigation which said that Facebook was used to incite violence against Rohingyas, and that led to very widespread violence against them and hatred. And I think that led to, eventually I think about nearly 1 million Rohingyas had to flee Burma. And Facebook had to then hire Burmese-speaking people to make sure that, any hate speech was easily spotted early. And basically stopped. But by that time, the cat was already out of the bag, and a lot of violence.
This is where I think Facebook has double standards. This is where I feel that. So I have this horror story to share, guys. It's not just about violence against a particular sector like pogroms or something. I came across a picture of something called NAMBLA. Okay, which when I Googled, it was called the North American Man-Boy Love Association, which is basically, it supports pedophilia as a sex orientation, like, homosexuality, heterosexuality, pedophilia. It's according to them, that's what it is. What was more horrific was that Mark Zuckerberg was actually associated with this association, and about 9 years ago there was this massive thing about it, when they started saying that it's just pedophilia is just another sexual orientation, and they were supporting it. Mark Zuckerberg came under the firing line, and obviously the page had to be taken down, and he said, no, I'm no longer associated with it. But that's the thing, when you are associating yourself with something like that, and at this point of time, I think about 68% of the social media users are on Facebook. When you have that power to influence about 68% of social media users, and you're associating yourself with this, I think that's horrific.
But
I'll tell you something.
If you can influence an entire election in US, and for the meddling of an election through some surveillance interference of another country, I mean, I'm not surprised why he won't go to this level of doing it as well. And
I'll tell you something. I don't think that Facebook has double standards. I think they have no standards. We at the Humanism Project, we keep reporting hate posts, hate speech. We keep reporting, and we make sure like all of our members report. So if there's some nonsense which is anti-Muslim, or some nonsense that's anti-Dalit or whatever, there'll be like a bunch of people from the Humanism Project that will report. There's hardly ever any action. I mean, I think they're very openly, Facebook is turning out more and more to be a bigoted organization.
Commercials.
And that's scary, because when you have all these great stuff happening, you have all these productive content coming out there, the eventual power that is holding it is destructive. And that's scary, because no matter how progressive you are, no matter how productive you are with your content, there is the top line, the sharks at the top line are destructive in nature.
Yeah,
and it's not Facebook, just Facebook. I mean, WhatsApp is used very widely. I saw that during the Delhi elections in February, when there was so much massive misinformation going on about, Shaheen Bagh and how Aam Aadmi Party was involved in supporting Shaheen Bagh and basically trying to distract everything from local issues of governance to basically Shaheen Bagh and anti-Muslim rhetoric. And the same thing happened when the Delhi riots happened.
Yeah.
Suddenly, there were memes floating around with how Muslims had actually started the riots and how Hindus were the victims, real victims.
Such a lie.
Whereas about 90% people were Muslims, people who died and who were affected by this. So,
And I
so
think
yes,
the
yes.
lesser of the evil, Deepak, there was organization of crime and orchestration of crime that happened on WhatsApp. There were WhatsApp groups that were created to
Yes.
kind of figure out what to do, how to perpetrate, which is so scary because WhatsApp is becoming the front of organized crime, and we have no way of monitoring it. We can't even figure out who is involved, how do they get to it, what were the implications, how many people died. It is almost the equivalent of, we used to call the dark web, where obviously drugs and death and all of that was popular. WhatsApp is becoming that sinkhole, and unfortunately politics and murders and riots are starting it. How scary is that use of WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. An institution is influenced by a voice. A voice is influenced by an opinion and an emotion. An emotion is influenced by the information you put out there based on the kind of side you're taking. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree with the way in which how the wrong side of the coin is getting all this glorified, footage, which is influencing the world so negatively.
Very, very sad. Guys, we're on 55 minutes already. Anyone has any last points to make before we close the session for the day? Last points, Saleha?
Yep. In the middle of this unreal time, I've had a really good opportunity thanks to Facebook, I have to say. I now do.
Yeah. Facebook is great marketing. Yeah, we love Facebook. We all have Facebook.
Secretly hate you too.
Love you, Facebook.
Yes, I now do a weekly Wednesday catch up with the community.
Nice.
Called Gupshup with Saleha, and the name came thanks to Deepak when I was kind of asking my friends to come up with a name. That's what Deepak suggested, and that was the producers. So yes, it's for the Indian community. Initially, I thought it was for Melbourne, but it goes to the Indian community in Sydney, in Perth, in Brisbane, and I don't know where all else.
And in India. I'm sure in India too.
Well, my friends keep sharing, and we discussed topical issues. Like the first one was on COVID, and I interviewed a doctor, and he explained it in plain, simple terms. Last week was mental health, and discussing the elephant in the room. So I had
that's a great one to raise.
I had a psychiatrist and somebody who has a lived experience.
Yeah.
It's all about online learning and I'm interviewing a teacher and a parent, what it means for each one of them. So yes, if you guys have any ideas.
Yeah.
Please,
Okay,
I
with
have two
Saleha,
things
everyone please tune in. Yes.
I have two things to say. The first one being, we've been, obviously we can go on this topic forever, for as long as the internet exists. But just a small request to everybody out there. The internet is a great place for you to express yourself, to put yourself out there on the global platform, but not your frustration. So if you're a troll, or if you have been, falling prey to the fake news and forming opinions based on that, please don't, form opinions, form a perspective, research, and then put yourself out there. And the second thing that I really want to say is, guys, please like our page, Humanism Project, on Facebook. As much as we love it, we hate it, and we can't do anything without it. So please do like our page on Facebook, Humanism Project, everyone.
Yeah, what the hell, people, if you aren't liking our page, what the
Exactly. What the
hell? No one
hell,
like it
internet?
already.
I'll say something here. I think, what we see the ugliness, in politics and media and discourse is basically the ugliness of the society, the human condition of today. and it's an expression of democracy. This is what is really happening. So no, we have to stop feeling entitled and get down to work. There's a lot of work to be done, and it's up to us. I mean, politicians will then start saying the right things when it's politically viable to do so.
It's more about responsibilities than our rights. If we have rights, we have equal amount of responsibilities, and we must be aware of those.
True. Zoran, yes. What
I want to say something as well. I mean, there's just so many opinions floating in the air, while there's so much of hate speech happening, negativity floating on social media. There is a bit of a silver lining also, and I have done my bit in the last 3 to 4 months being an influencer, where I interview people from various different fields, talking about the positivity of how this time the lockdown has brought a change in your life. It's only got to be positive, because at the end of the day, it's brought things very simple, very basic. So I do my Insta lives with a show called Live with Zoran, and I kind of have a bunch of people coming on all the time telling me how the lockdown has made them realize who they truly are, social media's place in their lives, and how they can use it to empower other people instead of putting them down. So I think that's the only way I can look at it from.
Moral of the story, follow Zoran Sahir on Instagram, please.
And the Humanism Project.
Yeah.
Like the Humanism Project on Facebook, Joe.
Jokes apart.
I know, it's not just on Facebook, baby. I'll get there. Shreya, darling, you have something to say?
Last thoughts. I think dichotomy in our world has always existed, right? We have always had the good and the bad in society, in life, in work, professional, personal. That is not new. What is new today is social media is an incredibly powerful tool, and the use of it, unfortunately, is entirely in the individual's hands.
True.
So we've been the same as forever, but now we've got this incredibly valuable tool, actually. And so the onus on individuals to use it the right way, which also means the onus kind of to figure out what is consumable, what is right, what is genuine, what is not regressive, is unfortunately also on us. There's no higher power or higher authority doing this, but it's incredibly important that we do it, because it is literally in our hands to make it or break it. That is how powerful this tool is.
Nice, well said. Bhole Bhale Virat, you have something to say?
Yeah, no, thanks, Joe. Thanks for calling me Bhola Bhala. That's the only time anyone is ever going to address me as Bhola Bhala. Thanks, me too. That's what I was thinking. But Shreya, you're absolutely correct. And I think there's a duality to it. There's, on one hand, responsibility of the platforms themselves to realize and regulate what kind of content goes on there. I'm not sure that we're going to get to a stage where that's going to happen, because they're going to follow commercial and business interests. Unfortunately, then we have to rely on the best instincts of human beings to somehow, dig deep within ourselves and dig deep into the bottom of our barrels and find some level of camaraderie, some level of basically the humanity that we feel that we share. I mean, it's not that, and unfortunately, the negative news and the bad news spreads faster. It always creates a lot more viral clicks, clickbaitable. So that has more commercial value, and a lot of people are very quick to jump on that. We know even Arnab is a great example that was raised. He apparently is a great human being outside of his, whatever his antics and charades. He's apparently a wonderful human being when he's not on camera. So, it seems to be the case that a lot of people.
Joe and I are just like, yeah.
But the thing is, there are a lot of people, and I feel like because everyone is now a brand, people have these dual lives that we are living, one on social media and one in real life. And often those two don't coincide. We are a very different person on social media, whether it is because anonymity or the fact that we like to present a different version of ourselves online. And that may not match who we are in real life. And I think it is interesting to see whether we like to put on different masks online, and that gives us a sense of power or some sense of comfort, or whether that can be dangerous as well. So it depends how we look at it, but unfortunately it all falls back on us, because we are the chimpanzees who need to somehow learn to work together.
Okay, guys, on that note, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And please like us on Facebook, the Humanism Project. Please follow us on Instagram, also the Humanism Project, and the Humanism Project's Twitter handle. Also, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And I hope you enjoyed our discussion. We had a blast. It was hard for us to shut up. So I hope you enjoyed it at least half as much as we did, if not more. And thank you so much for tuning.
You better have enjoyed it.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wave, 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 everybody.